Alright, prohibited conduct. Engineer Certification Reference Guide for the Railroad Administration revised August 2000. Prohibited conduct. Prohibited conduct mirrors the operating rule compliance section 241 so that the input represents the conduct of the violation part 240. When railroad revokes an engineer certificate, it does it under the 241 so the but when an FRA takes violation, same with offensive with the violation cited in 243.05. Prohibited conduct operating rules FRA violations 243.05. Signal, train speed, train engine, brakes, main track, occupancy, tampering, fail to take it. Designated locomotive engineer, engineering pilot, instructor, engineer. After December 31st, 1991, it shall be unlawful to operate a locomotive train past with a signal indication excluded with a hand IRO or signal indication or a switch that requires the complete stop before passing it. Operating a locomotive train which exceeds the maximum authorized limit by at least 10 miles over the restricted and is effectively only violation conditional clause of the restricted speed, but the clause that requires a stopping within one-half locomotive engineer's range of vision, operational equivalent thereof, which causes a reportable accident in of the part 225 should be construed with instances of failure to adhere to the section operational locomotive of the train adhering with the procedure of the safety of the train engine brake with the procedure of the required compliance initial term intermediate train transfer yard test provisions part 232 with the whip procedures required with compliance class 1, class 1A, class 2 running brake test provisions of 238. Prohibited conduct, operating rules, FRA, single train, speed, train, engine, brakes, main track, occupancy, tampering, failure to take action, designated locomotive engineer, pilot, instructor, engineer. Prohibited to conduct, continue with the failure to comply with a mandatory directive concerning the movement of the locomotive train without occupying the main track or the segment of the main track without proper or permission. No segment is defined in 247th portion over the railroad, assigned with the supervision of one superintendent equivalent transportation, all for the failure to comply with the prohibition against the tamperings of the locomotive mounted safety device if it's not only operated permitted by the operated train or unauthorized disabled safety device with controlling locomotive. See Part 219, Subpart D with Appendix C with the Part 218 note of the FRA will be guide with the railroad interpretation of the rules application of the particular factual settings. In determining whether the train operator passes a signal requiring a stop of the signal not limited to an automatic roadway signal to occupied main track without authority, note if the FRA give the written violation against the railroad engineer with the recommended individual liability against the railroad representative of the engineer or willful violation 243.05 of this section will be cited in 241, 243.05, and 247. Prohibition conducted operating rules FRA single train speed train engine brake main track occupancy temporary failure to take action designated supervisor locomotive engineer pilot instructor engineer. Prohibited to conduct with the conductor with designated by supervisor locomotive engineer certified locomotive engineer pilot or instructor engineer monitoring pilot and instructor locomotive engineer fails to take an appropriate action prior to the evaluation 243.05 A1 through A5. The appropriate action does not mean that the supervisor pilot instructor may prevent a violation from occurring at all costs. The duty must be meet the warning and an engineer potential for the foreseeable violation of designated supervisor locomotive engineer will not be held culpable under this section when the monitoring event is conducted as part of the railroad operational compliance test as defined in 217.9 and 243.03 efficiency test. Prohibited conduct certificate. Each engineer must have the certificate if the possession while on duty as an engineer displays certificate upon request of FRA representatives, officer issuing railroad off the joint operators of the railroad. Prior to the conduct, each locomotive engineer who has received the certificate required in Part 240 shall have the certificate his or her possession while on duty as an engineer display certificate upon request of the request to do so for the representative of the FRA, an officer of the issuing railroad, officer with another railroad operating locomotive of the train in joint operation territory. The civil penalties for the engineer either carry his or her certificate display when it is required for each $1,000. Prohibited conduct. Unqualified engineer shall immediately notify railroad if he is not qualified to perform service the call or shall be unlawful if the railroad requires service. The engineer should immediately notify other certifying railroads he has designed recertification by railroad his or her revoked certificate is revoked by. Alright, prohibited conduct continued. Any locomotive engineer notified of the cause called to operate with the locomotive of the train, such operation which called with the locomotive engineer exceeded the certificate limitations set forth on according with the Part 240 or Part B of the trial immediately notified of the railroad his or her Shall be qualified to perform anticipated service as she be the unlawful the railroad required such service during the variation certificate initiate interval. Locomotive engineer with current certificate for more than 1 year railroad shall immediately notify other certifying railroads he or she is denied recertification railroad, his or her certification revoked by railroad. Nothing of 240-305 shall be deemed of the certified locomotive engineer's duty to comply with the other provisions of chapter serving railroad, save the civil penalty failure to notify the railroad is $4,000. Revocation of certification.